Good morning, pop culture. We are live. It is Friday, July 20th, 2018. It's 7:45 in the morning, and Comic-Con has just started. So while everyone rolls in, I'll talk about last night's world-class bullshitters. It was a damn fine episode, if I may say so myself. But we started strong when we were talking about Star Wars. And this whole Clone Wars situation had me thinking after the show about just how dirty and desperate Disney truly is. They're scrambling to stay in the people's good graces, and you can tell that the tide has turned in terms of their customer approach. No longer are they too egotistical to fail. They're now realizing that if they don't get their shit together, Star Wars could end effectively by their own hubris. So this Comic-Con is very telling, and the next couple of months are going to be very telling. But like I've told you guys in the past, don't forget the last 7 months. So while everyone's rolling in, good morning, good morning. Good evening from Australia. Thank you very much. Yeah, fuck James Gunn. Kind of a weirdo. We'll talk about that. I saw EVS's video, and then I looked into it myself, and I thought, I'm not going to be able to make a dedicated video to this shit, but I at least have to talk about it because it is weird. So we're rolling in. We're almost halfway to our start point. Once 200 people are here, I begin. Oh no, we're fine. Disney did not assassinate us. I had to go grab something to eat for breakfast, and then by the time I finished, I didn't realize it was 7:43, so that's why there was no lobby wait party. But that's okay, guys. You'll have plenty more in the future. Doing well, I'm Green Hulk. Thank you very much. It's Friday. I can't believe it's another week over here on the channel. Tonight, I'll be back over on the Geeks and Gamers channel for the Force Awakens live watch party, which is not going to be fun. And then I'm going to be spending the weekend working on some videos, and I'm coming back with a vengeance starting Monday. So I've had a couple people tell me there's a lot of world-class bullshitters content to consume. But you better be prepared, because I'm going to be shoveling that shit down your throat in the coming weeks. There's all kinds of stuff we need to talk about that needs to be said. I was out filming videos yesterday. I was out doing all kinds of stuff. So be prepared. The end of July, early August, the rest of the year. Make sure this is, if you could only have one YouTube channel that you're watching, this is going to be it. Good afternoon to the UK as well, and Glasgow. Grendelfan84, thank you very much for your super chat and good morning. Good morning, Jeff. Comics Elite will have a table at Cincinnati Comic Expo and Horror Hound here in Indy. Hopefully we can meet up. Well, I'm making you a guarantee, Grendelfan, that I will meet up with you guys at Horror Hound Indianapolis. I don't have the exact dates of the Cincinnati Comic Expo, and I don't really know what I do from weekend to weekend. But if I'm there, I'll definitely be checking out Comics Elite. So, folks, if you're in the Midwest area, you should check out Comics Elite. They have Facebook page, groups, all that stuff. Join them, check them out. We always talk about the comic book industry and how it's dying and how it's funny that, you know, these SJW people basically put themselves in a hole. But remember, there's another side to this. There are comic book stores that go out of business because of these stupid comic books. So go back and find the good stuff and check out your local comic book store. Hang out, get involved in the community. If I had a lot of free time, I'd love to go hang out at my store and just bullshit. But Grendelfan Comics Elite will be on my radar for Indianapolis Horror Hound for sure, 100%. And we can talk about the channel, we can talk about Star Wars, we can talk about comic books. You can tell me what some of your favorite stuff is. And that'll be a lot of fun. The Force Awakens will be tonight at 9 p.m. on the Geeks and Gamers channel. Any updates when you can buy the future? Oh, when you can buy the future Popcast mugs? I'm actually taking time today to get this office a little better so I can finish putting up the heat press and stuff. So July, by the end of July, they should have them up. Bought the domain and got the smaller equipment, but I'm trying to make sure I can heat press them properly so you don't have to wash them by hand. I want to give you guys a high quality mug that can be put through a dishwasher. So finding some sources like that takes a little bit of time. But thank you, Jim. We hit 66,666 subscribers. Cool. So we're almost to that 200, only 25 more away. Thank you and good morning, folks. If you have anything fun this weekend planned, let me know about it. I'll talk about some cool stuff in the Ask Jeff Anything segment of the show. Let me get this James Gunn stuff pulled up for you guys. A lot of anger towards James Gunn this morning. Good morning, Midnight Cherry TV. Yeah, I can't wait to watch The Force Awakens with Jeremy either. It's going to be... I think I'm going to prod him as much as possible. Hey, Jeremy, remember how you thought this was good? Huh? Just to break his heart a little bit. Yeah, I wonder if James Gunn will show up at Comic-Con today, or if we're kind of just going to wait and not see James Gunn for a couple weeks. I would think it would be stupid for Disney to fire him from Guardians of the Galaxy just because of these tweets. While I don't support the tweets, the dude has done some good work. But he also told Star Wars fans they need to get mental help for their toxicity. So James Gunn, you son of a bitch, you need help. So guys, here we go. 200 people are here. We're at 207 now. So let's talk about the James Gunn tweets. So apparently James Gunn said some very presidential tweets out there, anti-presidential tweets, and people started to dig into his Twitter history to see what he had talked about in the past. And so a series of controversial tweets popped up, if you will. Controversial is a kind word to use. They're weird. They're fucking weird. I can't even defend half the shit he says. I'm not going to say too many of them because I don't really want that voice tracking on YouTube to consider our channel some weird shit like that. So I'm not going to read specific things, but the tweets are here. This is public on Twitter. So it's not like I'm making this stuff up. It's right here in front of you guys. Let's see if I can hold on. See if I can do something even better. There we go. So there's the tweets bigger. So here's one from James Gunn that I'm not afraid to read on air. Trying to maintain a semi-chub so that I'll look impressive in these photos. That's kind of funny. I don't really consider that too pervy. Some of these are actually funny. I guess people are really pissed off. Eagle Snatches Kid is what I call when I get lucky. Eagle Snatches Kid is what I call when I get lucky. Let's see what else he said. 3 men and a baby. Wow. Ew. Yeah, I'm not going to read these. You guys can see them on your screen right here. There's a difference between jokes and weirdness. And these are definitely jokes that you can make, but don't put them on Twitter. Here's the moral of this story, folks, is don't say this shit on a public forum that has memory. And I don't mean like Twitter's a sentient thing, but all this shit's saved somewhere. Don't put tweets out like this. If you're going to make these jokes, make them at a bar. I'm sure they're funny in the right context, but they just come off as weird. Like, ooh. What do you guys think of this? It really bothers me to try to even read some of these. I'm not all of a sudden, real uppity or anything like that. It's just, it's perverted, and I don't really want to talk about it. We had another super chat from Grendel Fan 84. A lot of stories fail. A lot because the owners buy what they think is cool, not the customers. We listen to our customers and try to exceed their demands. Grendel Fan, that's a good point. My local comic book store buys a lot of Magic cards and stuff because that's where they make most of their money, and the comics are just kind of an afterthought in many ways. But it keeps them around, and they're very, very, they're very polite to their fan base. But you get it. That's why you'll be able to go to conventions and do stuff for the foreseeable future. The Riva Kiss at 2790 says the moral of the story is don't piss off Ben Shapiro. People are saying he should never work again. He's really uptight about jokes. I laugh at all kinds of shit. If it's funny, it's funny. Some of these would be funny as stand-up comedy, but because they're just words on a screen, they come off as really, really grimy and grody. Just downloaded that new Steven Tyler single. I felt the same type of shame usually reserved for getting a $3 BJ for maybe Trey. Okay, I mean some of these work fine, but some of these are just weird. When you talk about the younger stuff, that's when I'm like, oh, I can't go for that. That's when I don't find it funny anymore. Cesare Japan says another sex pest in the SJW ranks. Reset the CL. Wait, guys, why is the clock on the floor in pieces? It is funny how a couple weeks ago this guy is towing the company line. He's part of our SJW playbook for Star Wars. He's in there. He's doing his thing. He's preaching the good word and saying what needs to be said publicly. But behind the scenes, this type of garbage is going on. I mean, you guys just tell me how you feel about it. You know what kind of channel we are. I mean, we have the word bullshit in our title. We joke about all kinds of stuff. I mean, even people have complained about stuff, and we're just like, it's still a joke. But certain things are just weird. And I think that James Gunn's kind of hit that wall right now. Down Forward Punch, welcome back. This isn't about the jokes he made. It's the hypocrisy that he attacks Star Wars fans and suggests that they go to therapy. Yeah, I wonder if he's going to publicly apologize for that. Like I said, guys, I don't want to make a solo video about just this James Gunn situation because I basically said what I had to say about the topic. It's, jokes are jokes, and some of these are funny. Some of them are just weird. So I guess his true nature comes out. And I hope people behind the scenes that know him are, Disney got me. I'm okay. I'm still here. Yeah, Scott Lazars, you're 100% right about that one. So Nathan Malia says, staying up late, camping out back, and OZ listening to Good Morning Pop Culture is real living. Keep it up. Thank you, Nathan. It always excites me to know that people from other parts of the world, not just like other states, other parts of the world are listening to us at different times of the day. So thank you, Nathan. I appreciate that. It's funny how everyone here in the chat saying that, jokes are funny. These aren't. I'm glad I'm not just, off the reservation today thinking like, oh, this guy's just weird all of a sudden. No, I guess as a community, we're kind of like, oh, this shit's weird. I have heard Bob Saget's stand-up comedy. When he talks about the Olsen twins, it's kind of weird. I don't like it. Idia Hugima, welcome back. Thank you for your very generous super chat. The louder they virtue signal, the bigger the skeletons in their closet are. That's a good point. That's how it always goes with these people. It's so funny how this battle to save Star Wars or, keep it pure or whatever that we're doing, how it weaves through all these weird things. I mean, hopefully one day I can sit down and write a book about all of this shit because the journey to our end goal really does wrap around a lot of weird, perverted, fucked up people. Now James Gunn's one of them. And that kind of saddens me too, because the humor in Guardians and the humor from Slither and all these other things that he's worked on are reflective of the person he is, or at least I thought they were. And now it's like there's some weird shit going on. The weirdest one for me, though, was the one about Max Keeble's big move down on the bottom row, second from the right. That's the one that is just the weirdest to me. I'm not even going to read it. You guys can check it out. It's dark. So, but it's funny, but it's just bizarre, too, to like tweet about that. That'd be something like you say, like, hey, when I was working on this movie, this happened. Oh, okay. I wouldn't tweet about it explicitly. But yeah, Idio Hugima, it shows that these skeletons are pretty severe in his closet. I wonder what else he said behind the scenes, because you know that this is him reserved. There are other things he's probably telling people. I'm not accusing him of anything. Like, I can't say that. I don't know the guy. I never want to know the guy. After the whole Star Wars fans need therapy article, I was like, fuck him. He's lost to the machine. But I guarantee you the shit he talks about behind the scenes are even worse. But virtue signalers are always the ones you have to pay attention to. Everyone that calls us a bunch of sexist, hateful, racist, misogynists, and we're a terrible hate mob and all this other shit, they're the people that are probably way worse than we are. Hey, we don't like a fucking movie. And we're not talking about diddling people. It's weird. And yeah, it goes to talk. I don't like to get too political here, so stick with me for just a moment. But when this type of shit is made as a joke, it makes me at least think that shit like Corey Feldman's accusations have some weight behind them. Because you got to feel bad for these people. Like, no one can ever excuse this shit. You can't politicize or use this as a power play or posture. Like, this is just blatantly wrong. And I don't think anyone in the comments can disagree about how fucked up this situation. You know what I'm talking about, too. When this kind of stuff comes out, you're just like, ooh, these people are the fucking worst. There's no way to defend it. Somebody makes a shitty joke, like the Kramer thing. That's a shitty joke. But at the end of the day, it's just a shitty joke. This is indicative of more, and it should worry you. Hollywood's a weird place. They promote and protect certain people, and then other things happen, and people just brush it under the rug, and they don't like to talk about it. And it's really messed up. You just, I don't know. I don't get behind that shit. That's fucked up. It's funny. People like Roseanne get in trouble for dumb crap. Those are just stupid, bad jokes that aren't funny that much, but they're not indicative of something worse. This is. So let's see who gets punished more. Disney. High Recluser Grimalda says, I just want an Alex Jones rant about this. The tweets are making the frogs gay. There you go. You got your tweet. You got your thing. No, I won't be surprised. I don't watch InfoWars at all. The only thing I'll do is I'll pop on that frogs are gay video for a good laugh. And I know he's going to talk about this. I might even check out the channel just to see what he says. Hollywood's a weird place, guys. Like when they call it Hollyweird and Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, I know it's a joke, but it really is a weird, bizarre place. They have all this power. These people don't really do much, so they get bored. They have weird tastes. They have weird friends that can get them in weird places. You know who I bet you would know a lot about shit like this, and I'm not saying this situation, but about places of power, is our friend Cecil. I'm not saying Cecil has inside information about James Gunn or anything, but Cecil, from what he's told us on air, seems to be connected to a lot of powerful people, and the powerful people seem to have a lot of stuff to hide. Billy Ritchie. Now, Gunn, please, can the atom bombs just fall? I guess you're that upset about James Gunn's revelations. It is sad and sick. I'm not trying to bring you guys down on a Friday morning. Here in Cincinnati, it is overcast, and basically it's a thunderstorm. It had rained for the first time in like 2 weeks. So it's kind of dark and dreary out there. And this news kind of reflects my mood reflects this weather. So I'm sorry if anyone's bringing you down this morning. I'm not. That's not my intention. It's just to bring this to you guys' attention. I know a lot of people will watch the videos. I know a lot of people will do the live streams only. So I kind of had to have crossover. And if you guys are wondering more about geek stuff and Star Wars, don't worry. We'll talk about that. And we'll go into all the fun stuff of Good Morning Pop Culture. This is a very special episode of Good Morning Pop Culture, as they used to say on those 80s shows. Let's see. You should write a book about all this. Well, let's see if the SJW is right. They're going to twist the story. Well, maybe I can beat them to it. King Eric, I did not see your tweet because Nick runs the Twitter. I apologize. Megatron 0541, thank you for your super chat. Hollywood gave Scorsese a standing ovation. What did Scorsese do? I don't really follow Martin Scorsese outside of his crime movies. I know Roman Polanski is the fucked up director, and he gets praises from people like, was it Meryl Streep? So this weird cult like attitude of Hollywood, they can sit and tell us don't do this and don't do that, and if you don't like this movie character because of bad writing, you're a terrible human being and you deserve to be fired from your job and shit like that. Yet these people, applaud these really weird fringe criminals, and everyone's lauding them as they're the moral center of this country. We need to listen to Meryl Streep. No. I don't want to lock up James Gunn. I just think it's fucked up. That's all I'm saying. I don't think that I'm trying to use this as a platform to arrest him and all that stuff. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is it's hypocritical for him to tell everyone that we need therapy for disliking Star Wars, yet he goes and he's just fucking weird. Anyway, it's funny. You can't change public perception of somebody like that. Once you do that, people are always going to remember. This weekend's going to be rough for him. Luckily, it came out during Comic-Con, while people are going to be focused on other properties. Like, oh my God, they're making Ninja Turtle toys in a VHS box. People are focused on that. Not the guy that directed Groot and Rocket Raccoon is, strange. Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey. Love that name. Thank you very much. Kind of coincidental timing with Disney's attempts to appease the fans with the Clone Wars return. Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, if you haven't had a chance to listen to the podcast, I went into a little mini rant about that yesterday, how it's nice that people are excited for the Clone Wars, but remember, the dialogues recorded, there were animation, schematics, all kinds of stuff was done before Disney decided to bring this back. So this is the old shit. This isn't Disney listening to the fans as much as they're, just finishing off the last 12 episodes to hope that people forget about the last, 12 months. I have video and I have articles and stuff that I'm going to put together over the weekend, and we're going to come back on Monday. I'm going to skip the Netflix thing for now because this is too important, and we're going to discuss the whole Clone Wars coming back is not as good as you think, because while people are excited and emotional, remember, guys, that you can be excited and emotional for the show, but don't give a pass to Disney because all of a sudden they're listening to the fans. No, this is a last attempt to try to get in our good graces before they launch the streaming service. This is all advertisements. This is not a company trying to please their fans. This isn't. This is all about the money and a quick way out for people to just forget about The Last Jedi. And then I talked about that comic book, which I'll do another separate video on too. Twistle of Mobius says, I heard it said time and time again, keep children away from the sick people, and to think this guy helped bring Guardians of the Galaxy to the screen. Yeah, I just don't let it color your perception of the film, though. The film's what it is. The guy behind the scenes is messed up. I don't know. You guys, you do what you should do always, is listen to yourselves. And what feels right, go with it. And if not, if Guardians of the Galaxy, if your opinion changes on that, it's like Chris Benoit, the wrestler. I don't condone anything he did, and I wasn't even a fan when he was alive. But I don't go back and watch his old matches and get uncomfortable knowing what happened a few years later. When I watched him fight The Rock the other night, I thought, wow, he's a great wrestler, but the shit he did was terrible. So if you can find a way to separate it in your heart and your mind to know at this point in time they didn't do anything and it was whatever, and then further down the road they were really revealed to be a piece of shit, that's up to you guys. So you make those decisions. Megatron 0541, you meant Polanski. Yeah, that was I mean, Roman Polanski went through some shit with his wife Sharon Tate. I don't know if anybody knows this, but you guys have all heard about Charles Manson, the famous the guy in jail. I guess he was a serial killer. I don't know what he was. Cult leader. I don't know how much killing he did. My point is, he had his family, the Manson family, go kill this director's wife. I think they were looking for him, but they ended up killing the wife and somebody else. The Tate LaBianca murders is a real famous story. It's really disturbing, but it's part of history. And Roman Polanski's wife was the woman that was murdered, and it was a weird time. And then I don't know. You guys can look up the Roman Polanski stuff if you're interested in that. This isn't a history lesson on Hollywood. Billy Ritchie said, let the bullshitters direct the next Guardians film. I'm down with that. I was just thinking of what I could do to top that David Hasselhoff music video. David Hasselhoff and Batista and all those guys. It'd be fun to direct a Guardians film. It'd be really. Here's the thing. Let's say you are a director brought in to direct number 3. James Gunn is out. Let's just say that's happening right now. The cast will they'll be professional, but that humor and that chemistry on set will no longer be what it once was. Kind of like if Sam Raimi would have left Spider-Man 3 and you would have had all the actors and stuff, it just would have been a much different movie. Thank you, Billy Ritchie. If you want to tell Hollywood that you want the world-class bullshitters to direct their biggest films, you know how to contact them and use our email address. Zaire says a lot of anti-Gamergate people also ended up being pervy. True. You got to just be careful, folks, about the most ardent SJWs. They're the weirdest ones. Larry Bernard, another feminist male in Hollywood is a perv. Yeah, Larry. Yeah, people are weird, man. I don't know how to make light of this situation. Like, I try to keep it fun and light on Good Morning Pop Culture. I mean, it's Friday. You guys have one more day of work for most of you. Then you're off for the weekend. You're going to take it easy and relax. I don't really want you to start your final work day thinking, man, this guy's fucked up. But it's important. We cover entertainment. When entertainment covers shit like this, well, that's why we're here. Okay, let me get caught up on these, and then we'll talk about something a lot more fun and, we're exposing Gunn. Grendel Fan 1984, thank you for your very, very generous super chat. Hey, Jeff, speaking of Comic-Con, if you or anyone watching is interested, we will be doing a live sales on our Facebook page, Comics Elite, from San Diego every night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with exclusive products from the Comic-Con. Well, folks, if you're looking for comic book stuff or just a nice break from this garbage, make sure you guys join the Facebook page for Comics Elite, because you know what? I'm going to do it right now myself, because I'm a member of a couple comic book groups, and they talk about, they do these live sales, and it's a good way to find stuff. So let's see. Let me join this right now. Comics Elite. There we are. Boom, I gave it a like. So, Grendel Fan, I'm going to be checking this out tonight. He said it's 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I won't be able to... So I'll be able to watch what you guys are doing, but I'm going to be on the Star Wars The Force Awakens live watch party, so that's going to be what I have to do tonight. But yeah, folks, give this a check. Give this a watch and see if there's anything you're looking for. Key issues, stuff like that. Maybe they'll have some Comic-Con stuff that they picked up on the floor. Who knows what's going to be on there? Grendel Fan knows, but you guys got to watch to find out. And that's the beauty of the internet. Live stuff is always the most fun. So thank you, Grendel Fan. And folks, that is the Comics Elite Facebook page. And Grendel Fan, we're going to get together and have a beer in Indianapolis and talk about horror, comics, all kinds of fun stuff. And Grendel Fan, are you going to have those... People are going nuts for those Power Ranger figures. I wonder if you picked any of those up. People are going nuts. Oops. Narrated Myths and Legends, thank you for your super chat. Read the Manson file if you want to learn more. Yeah. It's dark and morbid, but I like stuff like that. Definitely check that out. Why can't Ryan Johnson make tweets like this? Well, Ryan Johnson is many things, but thankfully he's not like this. I will never act like Ryan Johnson's all of a sudden this great dude. He's an asshole. He's a fucking asshole, but he's not this bad. Oh man, Vitali says, if this happens to Feige, the MCU is screwed. I thought James Gunn was a decent guy. that would piss me off too. I guess because I like the Marvel movies so much, I consider these people, I guess they make a good movie, so I think, oh, they must be cool, good people behind the scenes. No. If I ever found out The Rock was like this, I probably would cry a real tear. The live stream tonight is 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on Geeks and Gamers. High Recluse Art Grimalda says, sorry to bring Star Wars into this, but I think it's relevant. We shall strangle Disney Star Wars with the guise of their SJW tools. Yes. Here's the thing. You don't need to apologize about bringing Star Wars or controlling the flow of this show, guys. It's all about what we're going to find entertaining. And I definitely am going to slip away or slither away, terrible pun intended, from this James Gunn situation. In a minute, I'll just take this off the screen so you guys don't have to be angered anymore. But I guess in a roundabout way, the people who are fighting against these SJW ideals in entertainment are just like your average everyday people. And the ones who call out the names and make these accusations are the ones that truly have stuff to hide. It's in Star Wars now. It's in comics now. It's in all forms of entertainment. All I can do is advocate that you guys dig deeper and form your own opinions about everything in life and in entertainment, because some of these are jokes, but some of these could be indicative of more deeper problems. So we'll just have to watch with James Gunn and see what happens next. The guy doesn't get to tell us anymore that we need therapy. Oh, and then High Recluse Art Grimalda said, I meant to say guts. So, sorry to bring Star Wars into this, but I think it's relevant to this. We shall strangle Disney Star Wars with the guts of their SJW tools. Billy Ritchie says, meanwhile, the media is silent about all of this. Yeah, but the media is so excited about Comic-Con and Zazie Beetz is in some TV show and all this other shit out there. It's funny that they wouldn't want to jump on this. Everyone talked about Kevin Spacey, the Roseanne thing. There's a double standard. There's a double standard in how all this is reported. Paul McBride, you have to bring up Jeremy loving Kylo after losing to Rey in the first movie. I will. Don't worry. I'm gonna be giving that guy shit for 2 hours and change tonight. He's not gonna get away unscathed. He's got stuff to say about The Force Awakens and how much he loves it. Well, Jeremy, you're a good dude, but my God, are you wrong? A lot of people are saying if this was The Rock, they'd be upset too. Who is James Gunn? James Gunn is the director of the 2 Guardians of the Galaxy films. He was involved with Slither. James Gunn has had a pretty solid career, but James Gunn also is on record saying that Star Wars fans need therapy when discussing the latest backlash against Disney Star Wars. And so now his candy ass is going to be shut up permanently about this. He'll never go on record to tell Star Wars fans they need therapy, because now we have all the ammunition we ever need. Oh, you guys don't like Star Wars, you just don't like strong women, blah, blah. Dude, you like some weird shit, man. Like, just be quiet. Be quiet. The Rivakist 2790 says they won't report it because Gunn is a pedo and hangs out with all the other ones. This is the reason why there are so many child actors are messed up. Yeah. We can't even like joke around. Like, if you guys listen to earlier episodes, I don't like to get on like a high horse and act like I'm this moral superior. But I did give Dion and Nick shit because Corey Feldman was talking about this a couple months ago, maybe even last year. And they're like, oh, no, he's just a crazy musician. He's an asshole. He's this, he's that. I'm like, that doesn't make his story any less valid just because you think he's a dick or you hate his music. Like, they kept using that as an argument. The Century Millennium, oh, blah, blah, blah. Corey Feldman's a weirdo. Maybe he's a dick in real life. I'm not defending his personality. But then the story came out that it was truthful, and I made them apologize to me. I was like, this is fucked up, guys. You'll just throw somebody under the bus because you think their entertainment is shitty. But when something like this happens, you're not really, you're not sympathetic to that. That's just beyond me. I mean, it doesn't make me dislike my friends or make me angry anymore. I just thought, this shit's garbage. Grindel Fan 84 says we did get that figure and it sold for $100. It's selling like hotcakes. Might get another today. Mwahaha. Yeah, that Lord Drakon figure. People are nuts for Power Rangers, guys. It's the 25th anniversary of Power Rangers, and in September I might do a little mini retrospective, like a video and a Good Morning Pop Culture, because that was the first thing as a kid that I got into fully. Like, we all love Star Wars and we all love people love G.I. Joe and Transformers and stuff like that. There are things that you got into as a kid, that you had the toys, you wore the costume, you wanted to reenact. You bought into that brand hardcore. Power Rangers was that for me. And even though I don't follow anything post the original, and I don't really pick up a lot of the merchandise, I still follow some Facebook groups, and there's this new Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. It's like a green and white Ranger hybrid, and these fan collectors are going nuts for this shit. So Grendel Fan, I hope you make a killing on those, my friend. So I see that people are saying fan, and then I read it on Wikipedia. Rowdy Ruffian, what did you see? Oh, never mind. The creator of Rurouni Kenshin. Okay. Yeah. Kind of messed up. Paul McBride says, did you see the John Wick and Aquaman statues? You know, Paul, those aren't actually statues, but those are action figures. They're big Hot Toys dolls. And I saw both of them. When I saw the Aquaman one, I thought, okay, they're bringing back his original armor. I like it. I dig it. The original color scheme. Maybe the movie could be cool. And then I saw John Wick, and I thought, I need to buy this. I totally need to get that. I did not see I saw the Street Fighter Power Rangers crossover. The one where the White Ranger fights Ryu on Death Battle. That was pretty cool. That was pretty damn cool. Social media helps idiots destroy themselves. Yeah, it really does. Social media is like a window to your soul, and that's just, me being extremely hyperbolic. But these celebrities keep themselves, for many reasons, they have to remain away from the public eye at all times for their own sanity. I get it. But then they open themselves up with shit like this, and that's the only side of them you see, and therefore you see them as gross and slimy. Ooh, I'm sorry. Let's change the topic, guys. Press F if you want me to change the topic, because I'll gladly change it. Or, you know what? Press N if you want me to keep talking about James Gunn and Raylum. And yes, I did see the new NECA Michael Myers figure. I told Nick about it, and I thought to myself, do I pull the trigger on this now? No, I got some channel stuff I got to deal with. So the Fs are slowly... Oh, we got an N. They're mostly Fs. Why is my phone still on? I apologize, folks. This was a very unprofessional morning. But I only got 5.5 hours of sleep, so I'm a little out of it. Couple N's, mostly Fs. Mostly Fs. What we'll do is we can cycle back to this at the top of the hour, So let's talk about something else, something more positive, something more fun. James Gunn is a cuck. All right, that's the next topic. Whoa, these N's are really rolling in now. They want us to stop talking about the elephant in the room. I just am not trying to bring the mood down on the channel. It's not about being worried about anybody listening or anything like that. I just, I want to give you guys a fun way to start your day. We could talk about that Titans trailer and how it's complete and utter dog shit. The Riva Kiss is hitting all the letters of the alphabet. My thoughts on the Clone Wars coming back. I'll say it again, and I'll make a video on it. It's cool that it's coming back, but I'm not excited because it's not that Disney brought it back because they thought it would be fun. It's just them digging up the old shit that wasn't finished for the other seasons, and then they are putting it out there as a new thing. So please don't give Disney too much credit. That'll only go against everything. What's the She-Ra controversy? They made She-Ra kind of mannish, and that's what people are pissed off about. But then she's also meant to be a young She-Ra, so then they are using that argument. It's funny. They try to use those trick tactics, according to Ethan, against people that are complaining about She-Ra not looking like their traditional self, and where's her body and this and that. And they're like, well, it's a kid. What are you, a sick freak now? Well, James Gunn is a sick freak now. Martin Brest and Kinka Usher aren't freaks. Clap, clap, clap. Hey, Martin Brest directed Beverly Hills Cop. Doesn't give him a pass for Gigli, but he did direct one of my favorite movies of all time, so. Disney is going to get shit up. I don't think so. I mean, it'd be nice if some media outlet would hold Disney's feet to the fire over the weekend and use the right hashtags and really get their stuff out there, because this James Gunn situation isn't something you can just brush under the rug in modern day society. I'd be surprised if he takes interviews and then over the next couple months, like if he were to show up at Star Wars Celebration, I'm not saying he's going to, but if he were for some reason, if he was going to be involved with some Star Wars show or like a Star Wars Guardians crossover, some dumb shit like that, he would be lambasted publicly, and people would cheer him, and then there'd be people that boom, and somebody would get up there and ask him that fucked up question about his Twitter, and it would be a dumpster fire. It will not save the franchise. I didn't see Jeremy's celebration of the Clone Wars. I was busy doing shit yesterday. I had morning show, then I had stuff to do in the day, and then we had the night stuff. So I haven't had a chance to watch any YouTube videos outside of like a 4-minute video about diners, drive-ins, and dives on Mashed. So I'm glad people weren't in love with that Titans trailer. That thing was a dumpster fire and a half. You know, everyone bitched, oh, if you don't like Starfire being black or whatever, you're a racist. Well, now people are bitching because it just looks terrible. So the whole show looks bad. You can't hide behind that, guys. Oh, you don't like it, so you're a racist. No, I just don't like it because it looks so stupid and fake edgy. Like someone said, don't cut yourself on that edge there, Titans trailer. That is, I think that was a very good point to make. Yeah, the trailer did suck so bad. Where's Batman? Fuck Batman. People are saying press F to stop. You mean stop talking about Titans? It's so bad. It is so bad. I don't know why DC would allow this. At least Disney's self-aware with the whole Force Awakens, The Last Jedi hate. That's not even hate. It's displeasure from a bad movie. So they're putting out this comic book to correct the biggest problems with the movie. To know that Suicide Squad and BVS and the Snyderverse was very divisive among the fans, and now they're doubling down and giving those hardcore grit fans, even more. Is this really going to sell the streaming service? I hate to say it, but the idea of 12 episodes of a Clone Wars show definitely makes a Disney streaming service look better from the outside than this try-hard, dark bullshit called Titans. Now, the DC streaming service seems interesting enough for me that I'll give it a 7-day trial, and I'll check out the exclusive stuff they offer in the store, and if it's that good, then maybe I'll give it a month to see how it goes. And the idea of all the DC movies excites me, but I can't say that I'm going to sign up for a year. Does anyone with any fucking self-respect still go to Star Wars Celebration? Yes, John Lance. All the channels from the High Council group are going to the Star Wars Celebration this year because we can. And plus, it's going to be a huge meetup for all of our fans. So if you guys don't want to spend money on the show, just come up and hang out with us. The live stream tonight for The Force Awakens is 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cesara Japan says, Titan show Starfire looks like a bad prostitute. You damn right she does. When I saw the images earlier and Joel was freaking out, I'm like, you know what, Joel, it looks dumb, but I don't care. Now I care, because, man, that whole show looks stupid. The trailer looks worse than Teen Titans Go. I don't like Teen Titans Go. It's not for me. But a show like this is supposed to be directed towards me. MA, mature audiences. I'm an adult, I think. I mean, I got a YouTube channel. We talk about toys. That makes me an adult, right? My point is, this just looks too try-hard. Like I said earlier, try-hard and edgy does not go sit well with me. Why not put the money in and do a Batman TV show that has Batman in it? This fucking Gotham and the Arrowverse and all this other stuff never appealed to me because it seems cheap and second rate. At least in the Marvel Netflix shows, they pick heroes, and then the heroes are in the show. Like, why do I want to watch a story about Gotham City without Batman? I just don't give a shit. People are saying this trailer looked bad. The trailer looked good. I thought it was stupid when Robin stepped on the guy's neck and broke it. That pissed me off beyond belief. Robin reminded you of the Shadow the Hedgehog spinoff. She's a hooker. Stop calling her Starfire. Maybe the fire is like an STD you get. I don't know. 2019 Star Wars Celebration of Mediocrity. Damn, that's fucking harsh. Arrow stole all Batman stories. Batman the Animated Series is coming to Blu-ray. Yes, I did know about that. That was something that was announced last year. Unless something new came out in the last couple of hours, like a release date or screenshots, I haven't seen anything new besides I knew that it was going to be coming out. How old are those tweets? Those tweets are from, let's see, 2009, 2011, 10, 10, 12, 9, 12. I can't see that well down there. So they're a couple years back. Marashino says, maybe SJWs in Hollywood are so extreme because they're fighting the battle on a different level than us out in the real world. Thank you for your super chat, Marashino. Maybe they're just weirdos that help other weirdos. I don't know how anyone could ever justify the shit that goes on out there. I mean, yeah, they kill your favorite franchises. They do terrible shit to people. It's all under the guise of money. And then there was this Ashley Judd rumor coming out that she accepted some relationship with Weinstein. They're just hypocrites as well as terrible people. Like, there's so many fucked up things about Hollywood. The funny thing is, it's like they almost want to self-destruct right now. People talk about the box office is diminishing and this, that, and the theater chains are diminishing and streaming is bigger and all this and independent media like this is bigger. Well, there's a reason why all this is happening in this perfect storm. Hollywood people are weird. And they're assholes. And they do all this shit. And they lie. And then you find out they're hypocrites about this and that. And that turns people off. And the product isn't that good. And it's boring and homogenized crap. There's no creativity or originality. And thanks to the internet, we have means to deliver all kinds of stuff all the time. Hopefully, the internet doesn't disappear the way it is now and put the kibosh on a lot of that shit. Starfire is named like that because she's fatted to be tossed into the sun via catapult by EVS. They said in the trailer, where's Batman? Robin answer should have been, can't afford him, so you got me. It should have been Chris O'Donnell. The start of the fall of Rome, Hollywood. I like that one. Yeah, I'm aware of that gate situation too. 90% of movies nowadays suck. Yes, a lot of them do suck. There are some big nerd culture films that I'm not too excited for. I guess The Avengers is my last hope. I hope Bond has a good showing. I heard they're going to have Russians in the movie, so that could be fun. We can hope and pray that, your favorite franchises won't be ruined. If Star Wars is your favorite franchise, I apologize in advance. Twistle of Mobius, contribution for the World Class Bullshitters Trebuchet Fund. Well, thank you, Twistle of Mobius. I appreciate that. Lord Asurman, I can accept a bitter old Batman killing, but not Dick Grayson. He's acting like the Red Hood. Thank you for your super chat, Lord Asurman. Yes, I could accept old Batman killing as well. I know people are like, that's the one thing Batman never does. I mean, after a certain point, where does the Batman's responsibility for the Joker's crimes come into play? It's like, yo, Batman, you could have stopped Joker from bombing a school or sinking a boat or, burning down a hospital or something. But no, the Joker keeps getting away with it because of justice and all the shit Batman believes. Man, Batman should have snapped his neck right away and just put him out of his misery and saved a lot of people in the process. But that's one of those arguments that you have to really sit down and discuss with another person. I can just give you my point, and then I need somebody to give me a counterpoint. So, yeah, I don't like Dick Grayson killing. Remember when Dick Grayson took over for Batman in the early 2000s? The way Two-Face figured out that it wasn't really Bruce Wayne Batman is because Dick Grayson was smiling as he fought the villains. So that is a indicator of who Dick Grayson truly is. Even though he had that terrible thing with his parents, he still had some of that wide-eyed wonder and fun even as an adult, and this isn't what you're going to get. Basically, you're going to get Gray Slate the movie. They'll put that shitty blue filter on. The thing isn't even framed properly. It looks so dumb. I guess they did call it Titan so it could seem mature. I mean, sorry, I was reading Rowdy Ruffian. Yeah, we're not fighting Russians. Yeah, but James Bond is going to be, so that's kind of cool. We're going back to that. Good morning to you too, Darth Myrtle. Thank you for some a nice message to get me out of this funk that is this nastiness associated with our friend, not so much anymore, James Gunn. He's one of them. Yeah, Snyder has really hurt the DC media. Guys, I don't say shit about DC just to sound like a Marvel fanboy. I like DC. Hell, Batman's my second favorite hero, and I like him more than I like all the Marvel characters next to Spider-Man. I got 2 DC Blu-rays on my desk right here. Zack Snyder's vision was not good for anyone. I think if Rian Johnson was the progenitor of the Disney Star Wars franchise, you would have had a much similar tone to the Zack Snyder DC, not in terms of the dark and grittiness, but like a tone of like the success or failure, if you will. The perception would be a lot of that stuff. Michael Keaton's Batman was a psycho killer. I wasn't a psycho killer, Jessica said, but he did kill some people. You put a bomb on that guy's chest and Batman Returns and threw him down the hole. That was pretty damn cool. I would like a new Shadow film. Definitely, I'd watch it. I want some more noir, pulpy superhero stuff. They had it right in the 90s when they were trying to bring in the Shadow and the Phantom and all these other characters in post-Batman era. I wish that would have taken off, and that way Doc Savage would have worked and all this other stuff. You would have had these characters that are from a different era, and you could have had your Marvel, you could have had your DC, you could have had your pulp heroes. Not saying they need to be a shared universe, but something a little different. Grendel Fan 84, thank you very much. I've considered BVS as an Elseworlds film, examples of what would happen if Batman went over the edge after the loss of Robin. I think my criticisms, Grendel Fan 84, thank you, of BVS aren't even that Batman kills and stuff like that. They're just things like, okay, I don't like Lex Luthor. I think that was a bad casting decision. Trying to make modern day Luthor be Zuckerberg doesn't work. Life experience is different. Like money, you can give money to anybody and it'll make them whatever, but life experience is individual to each person and helps define them. I think an older Lex Luthor with more life experience and that's actually intimidating would be better than Jesse Eisenberg putting Jolly Ranchers in people's mouths and trying to be funny and scary. He wasn't funny or scary. It's embarrassing. That's a cringe moment right there. Now, hopefully we do see that this is an Elseworlds tale with Flashpoint, and we come back and there's the real DC universe, and there's a different Batman and a different Superman, and keep the same Wonder Woman because she was good and she's so pretty. But hopefully they can fix this stuff. DC isn't truly a bad place, which isn't good. Which isn't good for anybody. I mean, in a perfect world, we could all go to the movie theater every other month and see a big superhero flick from one of the big two and have a good time. But DC tried to launch before they were prepared and they fucked up. Marvel took the time, and that's why Marvel can do what it does now, because it took 10 years to get here. 10 years to these people in Hollywood is like 14 lifetimes. They just can't wait that long. They don't have the patience. BVS Martha stuff ruined the movie. Yeah, that was dumb. I know people, what YouTuber tried to talk about how it reached him at a human level, and at that moment he realized that they were both men, or blah 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 blah, or some dumb shit like that. I'm like, even if that was the intention, the execution was Martha. Hey, Martha. I was like, what am I watching? And the funniest part was I never really thought that Martha was Batman and Superman's mom's name. Like, I didn't realize it. I knew there was Martha Kent and Martha Wayne. I knew that, but at that moment I was like, oh shit, they do have the same name. Why does this matter right now? Like, that was my train of thought back then. Looking forward to the new Spawn movie. He said Spawn will be more of a ghost mist than physical form. It sounds pretty good. I haven't heard anything about that. This is going to be an interesting weekend, guys. There's going to be a lot of Comic-Con stuff to cover, and I'll report back to you guys. I think I'll talk about it a little bit on the Good Morning Pop Culture shows to give you a nice condensed thing. Like, you just come here and you listen to the video, and it talks about all the stuff. Now, I'm not going to cover every little thing, but hopefully I cover the stuff that you all care about. I'll curate my list of Comic-Con news. Martha XL. Spawn isn't gay. Spawn isn't gay. Spawn's pretty cool. Spawn's very 90s, but sometimes what's old is new again, and you realize, hey, this wasn't as bad as I remember, or it wasn't as good as I remember, but sometimes Spawn's like that comfortable sweatshirt you used to wear. Oh, this feels nice, but it has a little hole in it, so you don't wear it out, but when you're home you wear it and you're still happy with it. So that's what Spawn is to me. You'll take my 5.5 hours of sleep and raise me to 2.5? Sure, we can try that. 2 hours of sleep and I'm groggy and angry like the Hulk. My eyes will be red, and I'll try to destroy a city in Africa. And then you'll need Iron Man in a metal can to come beat me up. Johnny 5, what's the San Diego Comic-Con news? Well, last night on the podcast, we talked about the revival of the Star Wars Clone Wars series from Disney, which is essentially them going back, taking the episodes that were partially finished, and finishing them in an attempt to sell you their streaming service. And James Gunn, the director of Guardians of the Galaxies 1 and 2, put out a series of tweets over the last couple of years that reveals his true nature. He's a perv. And that's pretty much about it. I can talk about that Last Jedi comic. If you guys want me to talk about the Last Jedi comic, press F, and I'll get into that to help change the tone of the show. I hate Sandit's course. Martha! Oh, child of the flower, I hope you get better from your cold. All right, we got 1 F, 2 Fs. Didn't he delete like 10,000 tweets? I don't know if James Gunn deleted a whole bunch of tweets. I don't really do Twitter. I'm really into social media. Like on Facebook, I know how to use that, and Instagram and Snapchat, and all that's fun. But I don't do Twitter. I never got it. It was like, hey, you can write a sentence, guys. Okay. You do it on Facebook. It's called a status update. But whatever. Klaus Dork. Good morning. I always love your analogies. Well, thank you, Klaus Dork. I always love your messages. And now that I see you got the Red Ranger helmet on there, I like it even more. Is that you in a Red Ranger helmet, or is that just a picture you found? Because when I was a kid, here's a Jeff story for today. When I was a kid, we went out of town to a family member's house, and they had a motorcycle helmet that looked kind of like a Power Ranger helmet. And I asked my mom to buy it for me, but the guy wouldn't sell us his motorcycle helmet. So I just wore it around the house and thought I was a Power Ranger. Probably looked nothing like a Power Ranger helmet, but I thought it did back in the day. Because as a kid, all you could get were those stupid face masks with a piece of elastic string on the back. And I had the White Ranger suit, and I thought it was cool, but I never got that helmet. All right, lots and lots and lots of Fs. Oh, EVS showed he deleted 10,000 plus tweets. Well, that's cool. I just woke up, so I haven't had a chance to watch EVS's video at all. Broly Super Trailer. Cool. So, over on the Nerdist with Jessica Yobot, and I know that's not how you pronounce her name. I'm just being funny. Or attempting to be. This is over on the Nerdist website right now, talking about the Star Wars Last Jedi comic book, because this is important too. This is actually more important for the channel than the James Yun situation. And yeah, I said Yun. So we had Claustoric sent in a super chat, said, "That's mine," with a sleeping Charmander on top. Two things I liked as a kid, Power Rangers and Pokemon. So that's an icon after my own heart right there. F's everywhere. Damn right, Lord Batman. Man, if all 10,000 tweets he deleted were related to that, that is dark and fucked up. Grand Inquisitor, thank you for your super chat. Good morning, Jeff. Who will be gay in the new Clone Wars season? Rex and Cody, Obi-Wan and Anakin, Ahsoka and Bo-Katan. May the Force diversity be with you. Damn. It was funny that you bring that up, Grand Inquisitor. I don't know if you were on last night's stream, but I talked about how are they going to try to infuse the politics, and I said, when's the first? Somebody's like first female clone. I was like, how can you clone a clone into a female? It's not a clone anymore. So I think that it's too late for them. Here's the thing: I don't think they want to spend the money on the Clone Wars, so they'll just put what's already there and finish it and polish it and put that out, instead of trying to go back and infuse their politics. Now, if this thing was super successful and they went back to do more, you know they would do something like that. They'll probably make Ahsoka a lesbian, and it'll be like, oh, it's so progressive in the Star Wars. It's like, okay, but why are we using Star Wars for this? Can we not just enjoy the show and not have to change it, Disney? You know, we talked about the story group at great lengths yesterday morning. Today, we're talking about this. I wouldn't be surprised if they all got together like, can we please, Kathleen, can we please change the show and make at least one gay and one this and that? And Kathleen's like, look, I let you fuck around with The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi and Solo, and now my job's on the line. So we're just going to fix this one the way it is, and then we're going to move forward. So, Grand Inquisitor, if Disney was actually going to produce new stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But since they're just trying to save some coin, I don't expect them to be able to do too much. But if my money was on anything, it would have to be Ahsoka, because, you know, that's cool. And then you couldn't do Obi-Wan and Anakin unless Luke. That would be too confusing, and that would really ruin Star Wars. Kevathar1138. Thank you for your super chat. Jeff, had this debate with a coworker. Is it better to have bad sci-fi and geek culture content to keep it alive, or no content with standards? That's a good debate to have, actually. I might want to have that with the guys in the podcast. But to answer your question, off the cuff right now, I will go with... Here's the thing. I've lived through a time where we had no content, and what we did was bad. And then I've lived through the era where there's a lot, and a lot of it's bad. I guess I'll side with better to have bad stuff and then have content on top of it. That means you just have to sift through the garbage to find the good quality content. I know Doomcock swears by The Expanse. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but then there's all this other crap out there too. I kind of liked the way it was in the era when you had Spider-Man's 1 and 2, and then the Batman Begins, and you had stuff like that in The Punisher. You had a few movies here and there that were pretty good, and you had a few that were bad. In terms of the movies themselves, I'm glad we have all the superhero movies that we have, because Marvel's done a pretty good job. Marvel's done a really good job. I can't let Ant-Man's impact on me make me dislike everything that came before it. That'd be disingenuous. I'm not that kind of guy. But I'll go with more for now. I mean, you're never gonna get an era where everything's The Dark Knight in terms of quality. That can't happen. There's too much money to be made, and these places will scramble to make more. I just hope that the places that scramble to make more will apart, and that you'll get people who will take their time and pump out the good shit, and then a billion people will come see that really awesome movie. That's what I hope happens in the future, and that's what I would like to see happen. If Obi-Wan Kenobi is bisexual in the show, I may shit my pants. See you, Hammer of Crom. I hope you have a good day, too. World class bullshitter's chances of me watching Titans is akin to Dion Green riding a horse. Well, if you watch the show, I'll get Dion on a horse. I'll get him drunk and put him on a horse. The Pui, thank you very much for super chat. Good morning, Jeff. To answer your question, I love my job. I get in at 5:30, so listening to you in the car is perfect. Well, thank you, the Pui, for your always positive and always kind messages to the channel. And I'm glad you enjoy your job. That's important. We've all had jobs, or at least most of us had jobs where we didn't like them. So you're lucky in that regard. So am I. I got this, I'm doing this, and this is awesome. So I can't complain about a single thing. A good Dune movie? Yeah, that'd be interesting to see. I tried to watch the regular Dune movie. I don't know which cut. I hated it. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but man, God, I hated Dune. I went to bed in the middle of it. It was so fucking terrible. After watching Titans, Teen Titans Go is looking good. Okay, here's a good point to make because it's the top of the hour. We'll talk about James Gunn for a quick second. James Gunn claimed he was young when he made those tweets. He was 41. Was this the cause of the end of his marriage? We don't want to read too much into stuff like that because that makes this side of the argument as bad as them. But I think it's interesting for him to, if somebody were to say, oh, I was young when I did that, and you're 41 years old. You know who you are at 41. Hell, I knew who I was at 21. Yeah, everyone's done dumb shit, and I'm not going to act like I'm this perfect person and nobody out there is. But he can't hide behind that. You were 41, dude. I mean, does he have kids? Does he have a family? He can't get away with that stupid shit. Titans makes Inhumans look so riveting. Oh, I don't know. That one seems like a stretch. Inhumans was fucking trash. Cloak and Dagger looks pretty dumb, and so was Runaways. Marvel does have some crap out there. I don't know why they keep pumping out the YA audience shit. Those kids are busy fucking around on their iPads and stuff like that. Let them have that, and let them get a little older and find the sci-fi. It's like video games. What's the median age of a video gamer? Like 28 or something like that? So, yeah, there are kids that play games, but there are a lot of adults that play games too. I mean, video games have been a part of pop culture for almost 40 years now. If you were 20 years old when the Atari came out and you liked that shit the whole time, like Channel Dad Brian Lape, he's 98 years old. He's been playing it since he was in his 50s. Inhumans sucked. It did suck. Let's see. How old is old enough? Old enough to know better. I guess that's the thing. And Marvel wants the CW crowd too. I guess they do. Poor Brian. Yeah, poor Brian. So, how Disney is expanding on The Last Jedi. And I'm not going to read you this article because it's not the article that I want to read to you. It's this little snippet right here at the bottom. So we'll start with this snippet. So it says, last night Jessica Chobot and host, blah, 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 who cares? They talk about was Vice Admiral Holdo being too flippant with Poe during the movie. That's addressed by Holdo telling Poe that she had planned much earlier. Our favorite Admiral Akbar even gets to say a few words before his untimely demise. The comic also gives Leia more context during her Mary Poppins moment in space and drastically shortens the time spent in Canto Bight to just a few pages. The adaptation even gives Luke some more time to mourn his closest friend's demise and further explain his reasoning for going into hiding. Overall, each tweak adds layers of depth to the story that unfolded on screen. Doesn't mean that the changes will be recognized in Episode 9, but it does appear to demonstrate that Lucasfilm isn't simply shrugging off the earlier criticism. What the fuck? Have you guys heard about this? Have you guys heard about this Star Wars The Last Jedi comic is essentially going to fix the problems of the film? And do you think it's even possible to fix the problems of the film, or is it too late? They've spent 8 months jumping on people that had these complaints, and now they have to backtrack. So does them doing this admit guilt? I think it does admit guilt. Why would a movie company do this? Oh, we're going to go back and make these changes that the fans bitched about. And how does Ryan Johnson feel? It can't fix shit. You damn right it can't fix shit. The damage is already done. Like Nick said yesterday, unless they're going to go back and take everyone's Blu-ray and give them a new edit, it's not going to happen. You have people like Ivan Ortega out there fixing the movie. Now you got Marvel going to fix the comic book adaptation of the movie. There will be, in history, there will be a Wikipedia article about this, and it'll be changes to the film. After much criticism from the fans, they changed this, that, and the other. Which would be canon? Well, the movie proper will be canon. I don't think that, or I'm not softening my stance on The Last Jedi just because of this comic book. What I'm saying is that this is hilarious that they have to go back and change plot points of a film because they fucked up so bad the first time. And what I want to know is, what about those people, these critics online, the ones that get on Twitter and make these YouTube videos about, if you don't understand The Last Jedi, that's your problem. It's such a genius, brilliant move to do this and that and the other thing, and everything is your fault. Well, like I said, by them changing this is an admission of guilt. They went too far in every aspect of the story. Such a dumb movie. You heard me suffer last Friday night, and I'll never do it again. And you're going to hear us suffer tonight for The Force Awakens, but at least that one's not The Last Jedi. That's all I can say. That's the only positive. At least it's not The Last Jedi. But people make a good point in the chat, too. It will only fix it for the hardcore fans who read this, and it's not going to matter to the masses. That's the important part. The masses are why Solo failed, as well as the hardcore fans. Because let's say the hardcore fans would bring in more money. The masses are burnt out from the last one. Like, they saw the last one, they're like, oh man, that was so they skip the next one. And then they're going to remember the last one not being that good, so they'll skip the next one too. It's going to take a lot of hype and praise to get people excited for what would be episode 10 or the next anthology flick. Solo suffered for the outrage from The Last Jedi, and then The Last Jedi is also going to hurt episode 9. And people are going to have seen that movie, and I don't think your average American is going to go, oh, or viewer in the world is going to be like, oh yeah, well, this movie doesn't make sense, but did you know in the comic book they fixed that? No. You'll get some guy at your store that tells you that, and you go, well, I'm not going to buy the comic book because I didn't like the movie. So... Ghetto Bible, thank you for your super chat. Fix. Almost every scene had issues. Can't fix. Yeah, that's right. It's like Glass. Who gives a shit about Glass? Every scene did have a problem. From technical issues to storytelling issues to logistical issues. Like that douchey article that I tried to read that I'm working on a video for. This comic book is definitely going to be, an argument against the movie being this brilliant piece of textured filmmaking and all this other garbage that these people talk about. Yes, this is why they unveiled Clone Wars. You got that 100% right. I don't want to keep saying deflection, a Star Wars story, but realistically, Disney Star Wars overall is deflection, a Star Wars story. Oh, you didn't like this? Well, let's deflect your criticism with claims of racism. Oh, you didn't like this? Well, let's deflect your claims with the comic book that they're going to fix it. Oh, you're angry with the direction of the movies and we don't want to lose money. Well, deflection, here's the Clone Wars, guys. And look at the animation on that fucking thing, too. That did not look that good. That looked really, really poorly made. Disney has all this money, so I expect everything to look A+. Like, I'm going to be a harsher critic on a Disney product than I am something from an independent studio. There was like a movie called like Hell Freezes Over or something. It was like a weird little stop motion flick. It was really cool and really well made. And I liked it a lot. I was very impressed by what I saw. But I wouldn't allow a Disney film to look like that. It's Disney. Was it Kubo and the Two Strings and Coraline and all those things? Those have a different kitschy appeal. They're not Disney, so they don't have to look as clean and polished as other things. But that deflection is why they revealed the Clone Wars. That's the first thing I thought, deflection. And when I watched the trailer, I thought to myself, there is no way that they put this together in a few short weeks to appease the fans. And then I looked into it and I was like, this looks kind of weird though. And then I heard from our friend Albedo, and I got links to prove it, that this wasn't all new original content produced by Disney. This is just the leftovers that are being repackaged. So the theory does hold a lot of weight when you look at it like that. And you picked up the Miami Vice box set. Oh, man. Pete, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed the first season. I'll tell you that the first season, well, at least for me, is the best season. Season 2 is really great, too. And then 3 is where it starts to have a couple hiccups, but it's still good. 4, you get the bad mullet of Sonny Crockett, and I haven't had a chance to watch season 5, so I hope you guys enjoy that. I hope you enjoy that, Pete. And if you're out there, folks, and you like good TV, I strongly recommend Miami Vice. It's fun, it's 80s, it's groundbreaking. It was one of the coolest shows of all time. Definitely the coolest show of the 80s. Idia Hugima, thank you very much for your super chat. For me, it's not even The Last Jedi. Yeah, it's garbage. I rage for a while, then I move on. It's the reactions. Directors coming out and insulting the fans. Lucasfilm employees doing it too. To hell with them all. It's all that for me. I think I could overlook a bad flick. Like The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was a shit show. But it's over. I saw the movie, and I didn't have too much to say about it after that. I didn't like it, but Disney or Sony didn't come out and constantly say I was all these terrible things for not liking the movie. Oh, you're racist because you don't like Black Electro. Electro sucked, but so did everything else. But they dug themselves into this hole. I think it jumps all the way back to Hollywood and the James Gunn thing. A lot of these people are very insecure in Hollywood. They're creative types. Look, I'm a creative person too, but I'm not weird like Rian Johnson. I come up with shit all the time. Doesn't mean I can't handle criticism. Rian Johnson just, he's like a little hedgehog. He just rolls down into a ball and, his little spines pop up and it's like, oh, I didn't like the movie. Oh, you're a terrible person. You're an asshole. You're a sexist. See, that's come back to bite them on the ass because they're weird and they're bizarre and they want power, but they only care about money too. And you can't get money from people by treating them like shit. We're not dependent on Star Wars. The masses aren't, at least. Like, people are dependent on drugs. Your dealer could talk shit to you, but you'll still buy whatever you need from Smokey. Rian Johnson talks shit to you, and people like Idia Hugima, myself, and many other of the world-class bullshitters fans will just simply walk away. We don't need their shit. We definitely don't need their shit. It's a problem that they get away with this kind of stuff. You know what? They're not even getting away with it, guys. I can't even talk about that. But I'm sure that a lot of people feel the way you do, and they're holding on to this anger because of the terrible shit. And in many ways, the Clone Wars and stuff like this is damage control for what came over the last couple of months. So you guys, you will always hear me say this. Do not forget The Last Jedi and Solo. Do not forget the terrible things. Do not forget that Jonathan Kasdan attacked us because we didn't want Lando to be a pansexual. Don't forget that people are angered and outraged at this shit for just, not being treated like human beings. If I treated you guys like shit, I would expect the subscriber count to drop and people stop watching the show. It's bad. It's bad for everybody involved. The West 18 Racing says, why do some fan films look better than the actual Star Wars movies? Well, thank you for your super chat. I think because fan films are made by people that care. Now, obviously, the fan films won't have the budget that these Star Wars flicks will have unless you had like Elon Musk fund one. That'd be cool if Elon Musk is like, here's $20 million, make a 30-minute Star Wars movie. That'd be cool. But I digress. My point is, love and attention is what makes some of these fan films look better. Same thing with these DC fan films. Yesterday, when I saw the Titans trailer, I thought to myself, Batman Dead End and a ton of other fan films from these DC stories look better than this shit. When you get people in there that don't care, like Lucas created this shit, he cared. I'm not saying everything he did was perfect or even good, but it was his baby and he cared. These other people, for some people like Rian Johnson, it's a job. For some people like J.J. Abrams, it's a wet dream. And sometimes, he finished too early, and that's what J.J. Abrams did. He just finished too early and kind of ruined it for a lot of people. Rian Johnson was just a malicious troll who shit everywhere, and now people are having to clean up his mess. And it still stinks. It's still leftover residue from what he did. And moving forward, everyone's going to remember that this is the room that Star Wars was murdered in. You know how, like, when you buy a house, they have to report if something terrible happened in the house? That's what they'll have to do with Star Wars. It's like, oh, something terrible happened here, and we're going to, move forward. But people won't forget. They'll remember that murder took place. They remember how they murdered Han, and they had Luke, and how they changed who Princess Leia truly was, and they emasculated any decent characters, and they elevated an uncharismatic actress into a role who couldn't really handle it because she had a certain look and appeal to the producer who was odd and insecure herself. People will remember all those things because those people that make Star Wars aren't focused on making Star Wars. Star Wars is a vehicle or a package for their ideals and their beliefs and their politics. You take that Star Wars logo, the Revenge of the Jedi one, that's the word Star Wars, and then it has the rectangle around it. That's what Star Wars is to Disney. The word Star Wars is at the top, and it's what your eyes see first. But everything in that box is agenda and everything else that's not Star Wars. And that's why these movies don't look so great. The only people that I would say are super excited to work on these films are the people in the art departments, the CGI artists, stuff like that. Because those types of creative people watched Star Wars and were inspired and got into drawing and wanted to get into computer modeling and all this shit technology. Those are the type of people that were inspired by Star Wars more so than a Rian Johnson. Kathleen Kennedy was too old to be inspired by Star Wars. She was already an adult. She already had reached her James Gunn age of knowing better before Star Wars was even a big thing. So that is why. That is a very long way to answer your question. That's why the fan films look better, because of love and devotion and care. When you have a director that's very meticulous about his work, that's why you have like a Stanley Kubrick, or you have stuff, or people like Alfred Hitchcock, where you can sit and dissect their work decades later because of the time and the just obsessive attention to detail. That's where that comes in. And Star Wars doesn't have that anymore. They picked Daisy Ridley because she looks like Padme Leia. Disney films think Star Wars. Yeah, they all do have the same look. I'm not saying Natalie Portman is not good looking. Princess Leia could be attractive in Empire Strikes Back. She looks kind of iffy in Return of the Jedi, but whatever. I'm not here to rip on Carrie Fisher. But my point is, they're all very flat, brunette, small women. There's no body diversity. They talk about diversity. Well, there's no body diversity in Star Wars at all. So. Let's see. Burn it down. All kinds of stuff. So, do you guys want me to move into the Ask Jeff Anything section early because it's Friday? Or do you want me to cover anything specific in comic stuff? So, press F if you want me to go into the Ask Jeff Anything segment, and you guys can ask me to cover the James Gunn stuff again if that need clarification. Or press N and I'll cover something specific. I see Ask Jeff. I don't think Natalie Portman is like smoking hot, but I'd be lying if I didn't think she was a pretty woman. She just seems very unlikable to me. Oh, we got one N, two N's. Wow. Oh shit, there's a fair. What do I do now? There are a lot of F's and N's. A lot of effing going on here. Did I miss your super chat from Caesarea, Japan? Let me go back. I apologize if I did. I'll scroll up here and make sure that I... Give me a second. Just a moment, folks. I don't like doing this by missing somebody's super chat. It makes me an asshole. So let me make sure I didn't, and then I'll go... Okay, live control room. Oh, here we go. Caesarea Japan says, did the LGS adopt Ahsoka as their pet project? I hope not. I hope the Lucasfilm Story Group didn't make Ahsoka their pet project, their cause and a character. That would piss me off. Ahsoka's so cool and did so much right, and I loved how she walked away at the end of the one episode. Like, the character is great the way it is. Do not change it. We've learned yesterday that the Lucasfilm story group is so ill-equipped at creating anything new and original. Pablo Hidalgo got woke, and now he just is ruining everything he worked for. He was like the Star Wars nerd we all wanted to have and control. And then he, hid behind some strong women, and now he's a weak man. Oh, Abomino, you missed so much in your 30-minute call. But don't worry. There was a theory mentioned in the Geeks and Gamers live stream that Ahsoka was older than she would have been for that era. Possible time travel? I don't think there would be possible time travel. I honestly think that the animation is incomplete and they pumped out stuff for Comic-Con because it looks bad. Anakin looks too old. Obi-Wan looks too old. Whoever was in charge of that Comic-Con trailer didn't do a good job. I thought the trailer looked bad. I'm excited by the idea that, we could see shit that was coming before it, but then I have to realize who's behind it, and there's going to be corners cut every which way. Yeah, the Clone Wars Leftovers is a good way to describe the revival of Clone Wars. Leftovers, a Star Wars story, to use my own thing against me. Yeah, I'll suffer through episode 9 for the channel. Maybe I'll get with Jeremy and Ethan. We'll get together and we'll all watch it together. We'll live stream our tears together. Okay, so I'm all caught up on the super chats. There we go. Didn't want to. Natalie Portman is not what you would call a good-looking woman. Hey, you know what? Agree to disagree. I'm not saying she's like even in my top 50 women that I think are like, oh, wow. She's not Kelly Brook. She's not Sofia Vergara or anything like that. But I wouldn't call her ugly. She's a pretty face, and that's it. Like Natalie, or not, like Mila Kunis. It's a pretty face, but that's all that they have to offer. Oh, God, he's back. Brandon Moist, everybody. Brandon Moist. Do you think the new Clone Wars will destroy Obi-Wan and Anakin? Well, I don't think so, Brandon Moist, because like I've said earlier, these are the leftovers from what was before Disney came in and canceled the show. So I don't think that they'll destroy the characters. Plus, remember, guys, they want Star Wars to be a long-term thing. This isn't meant to be like a one and done, hey, Star Wars is back, here's our movie, goodbye. They want Star Wars to go on forever. If they ruin Obi-Wan, or if they put some shit in there for Obi-Wan to be changed, that'll hurt the future Obi-Wan film. I don't care if they get Ewan McGregor. I don't care if they dig up Alec Guinness and somehow revive his ass. If they fuck up Obi-Wan in the show and make more people's perception of the character go down, that movie's not going to have the same appeal. They need to be on. They need to be tiptoeing around these classic Star Wars characters because the fans have shown how much they care about the characters, and their flippant attitudes towards Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and Princess Leia, who's now Force sensitive Mary Poppins, that has pissed off and cost them a lot of money. So, Brandon Moist, they can't allow they don't have the leeway to change shit like that. If they mess up, they're done. So I don't think they'll destroy Obi-Wan or Anakin out of fear of this battle station we call the Fandom Menace. And yeah, that's a really shitty Star Wars reference. Does Brandon Moist make me moist? Yes. This is a good point brought up. Are we looking at a shift in Disney's attitude towards Star Wars fans? Clone Wars, Last Jedi comic, Kasdan being nice, MCU director crap. Something's going on. I think something's going on with them. Like Disney's like, hey, you guys really need to get your shit together. I don't ever want to get like cocky on the channel and become an asshole, but I will say this: that one video got over 1 million views in just a month. A lot of people in a short period of time saw that. Would put at least a Dukes Brothers bet down that somebody in the right place has seen that video or at least heard about this channel or something like that. I'm not saying that my voice is the only reason that this is happening. Not even going to give myself that credit, but all of us combined, the fan bases, all the guys on the High Council, all the other channels kind of related to the High Council, all those people, there's this movement going on. It's too small to ignore. It's not like we have 50 subscribers and 200 video views. We have thousands and thousands of subscribers and millions of video views. So they have to know there's some kind of thing. In terms of Star Wars, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some kind of edict that came down from Disney at the top and said, hey, social media needs to be, you need to cut that out. You need to play nice with the people. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case for Disney. The Last Jedi comic is definitely a response to the overall criticisms of the film. It's too late to go back and fix the movie. And they can't make Rian Johnson apologize, but they can do this in an attempt to fix, I guess they think, oh man, so many people love the EU books, and so those people are the ones that dislike this movie. So if we give them a fix in a book, they'll pick it up and they'll accept it. That's not going to work that way, but at least that's their train of thought. Clone Wars, like I said, it's just leftovers. And, leftovers can be good, but sometimes they're in the fridge for too long, and your meatloaf is kind of melty and weird, and you shouldn't eat it. And that's where we are now. And this MCU director crap, if we're talking about the James Gunn thing, I think that's just karma, or it's a perfect storm of coincidences. I don't think there's any plan with throwing a director or anything under the bus, because Disney's known as this big family brand, and you don't want people like that associated with a family brand. I mean, I'm not saying James Gunn did anything, but his tweets are very suspect. So Disney will probably want to distance themselves. So maybe in the next couple of weeks, we may see James Gunn removed from Guardians of the Galaxy 3. That'd be sad and interesting. All kinds of people are talking about the chicks, the ladies. Okay, Paul McBride. According to the review for you, Disney has people subscribed to you, Geeks and Gamers, and EVS. He said that on Geeks and Gamers live chat last week. I have never heard of reviews for you, but I wouldn't be surprised if we had stealth subscribers. They're watching everything we do. I like that though. That helps. I was hoping that the Disney video I made a couple months ago, where I gave the address to and phone numbers to all the places, would have, captured people's imaginations and made them go out and do more. But it only got 20,000 views, so whatever. I was hoping that would have been the one, but at least it's happening now. But yeah, Disney can listen to everything I ever have to say. I won't go back and be like, yeah, that was just dumb, or I don't agree with that. Those videos that I make, the separate ones that are just me, are very... I think everything through, so I hope that they get the message each time. And maybe I'll throw a subtle nod and wink to some of them in the future. I wish I had a couple names of these people that were watching and who they were, because I would bet Scott Mendelson watches our crap. Like that's somebody I think honestly watches it, because some of these articles come out that people say like, oh, you got to read this and do a video on it, and it seems like it's very targeted, trying to incite anger out of me based on their stupidity. Like they're out in Hollywood thinking, my hair's falling out, but I'm going to make this guy fucking, freak out on the internet right now. That's how I get my kicks. No, Scott, that's not how you should get your kicks. No, James Gunn hasn't been removed, guys. That's not reviews for you as an ex-Disney worker. I need to check out who that is. Oh, there's been a report that Disney has made a task force to watch the social media and see what fans are saying. Check out Bantha Track. Oh, okay. Bantha Tracks were the people that put out that Obi-Wan Kenobi rumor that had a little bit of weight to it. So I'll have to check those out. It's funny to think that Disney is doing the most basic thing that we requested. It's not that the fans have these extreme demands like, oh, I want a football helmet full of cottage cheese and naked pictures of B. Arthur. No, we don't want anything weird like that. All we're asking for is we treat it with respect and kindness. And they're hoping that a year and 5 months will be enough to help us forget. Like, there'll be a year and 5 months of really great customer service and apologetic performances and this and that and the other. And then they're going to hope that people are like, well, we apologized. Can you come see Star Wars Episode 9? And I really hope people are like, nope, fuck you guys. After this, maybe we can work something out. If Marvel Studios falls and burns Star Wars style, I'll be really upset, because then that's it for me in terms of anything associated with Disney. I had my fun as a kid watching Aladdin and the Lion King and all that shit. And as an adult, I watch other stuff. And goodbye, Disney. That's all I can say. And by the way, a lot of people in the chat are really calling for James Gunn to be fired. Like, fire James Gunn. I'm not watching the movie, all this shit. You guys do what you got to do. I don't ever sit and try to tell you, like, you must do it this way because I say so. No, you got to go watch what you want to watch and do how you got to do it. So if his tweets and his personality and the shit he says about the president, or his really odd tweets turn you off to consuming anything he's a part of, hey, that's your power. You do what you got to do. You do what you want to do. For me personally, I think he's weird, and I don't really care about his politics, but I don't like his when he talks about certain things in his jokes. Sun's out, guns out. I would wear that on a t-shirt. I would wear that on a t-shirt. There you go, Nick. Thank you. I hope that's the real Nick and not our fake Nick. Yeah, the fake Nick's an idiot. Of course that's the real Nick. I'll take Allison Brie over Brie Larson. Yeah, me too. Any day. I like Allison Brie. I like Glow. Let the politics die. Kill it if you have to. By the way, Albedo, thank you very much for your piece of information about the Clone Wars leftovers and stuff. I appreciate that. I'm going to be using that as a jumping off point for my next video. So, thank you. Guardians of the Galaxy is overrated schlock anyway. I don't know if I've said this enough on air for everyone to catch because of the new subscribers. Guardians of the Galaxy is okay at best for me. I like part 2 more than I like part 1. I think the music and certain things have sold the movie to a lot of people that aren't into the comic book movies. So that's smart from a business standpoint. But it's, for me, if I'm going to rank all the MCU flicks, where there are 20 of them now, Guardians of the Galaxy is probably going to be on the lower half, and 2 maybe at number 10. So, again, thank you, Albedo. Super Smash Brothers candidates wants to know what happened. Did James Gunn insult anyone? You didn't hear about this? James Gunn is a sick Uncle Pervy. He put out... Okay, so I guess he got overtly political, and Ben Shapiro, or what's the guy's name that did it, found all these fucked up tweets about him, because he was getting real political, and so somebody went back and looked through his tweets, and then he had to delete a whole bunch of them. But these are some of the tweets that came out and revealed who James Gunn was. So no, he didn't insult anyone per se, but he said something even worse than an insult. Yeah, his Twitter feed, guys. So you guys can read these on air, or read these right here on your screen. I'm not going to sit and read them out because some of them are just fucked up. Some of them are kind of funny, like the... where's the one that I actually thought was okay? Oh, no, I'm looking at the small screen. Fuck it. You guys just go watch. You just check them out if you have to. He committed a thought crime. Grendelfan84, thank you very much for your super chat. The one thing I've been doing is asking moviegoers what keeps them from buying the comics if they love the movies. Responses have varied. Grendelfan, let me throw out my theory on why I think that's the case. You're a kid. You go, you see Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man. You like the movie. Let's say you go see Iron Man, at least see Avengers. Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Like, man, I loved Iron Man. I want to read more. So you go to your local comic book shop and you find Riri Williams as Iron Man. And that's kind of eh. And then you want to read about at different times. Remember about Thor? Well, Thor's Lady Thor from Jane. I don't know when they switched back exactly. But my thing is, if these kids go out and find these characters in the movies they like and they pick up a toy and then they want to read a book, if they want to read it all, they go to the store and they find weird versions or versions that don't look enough like the film. I think it would have been interesting or slick if they would have put out a MCU line of comic books that followed the movies but didn't alter the continuity of the film. So you could have a disclaimer like, these are the further adventures of Iron Man from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but do not reflect the future of the whatever. A little kid isn't going to read a disclaimer like that. It's just like a fun story where Iron Man looks like Iron Man and you have a continuation. That was a problem with me in Power Ranger comics as a kid. I loved the Power Rangers, but when I picked up the comic book, they didn't look enough like the show, so I didn't like it. Now, Spider-Man, I would read Spider-Man Adventures, and it looked close enough to the show, so I even liked that quite a bit, but that's my guess. I'm sure you've heard way more different answers, Grendel fan. I just hope that people don't stop reading in the future for fun. I know I picked up about 4 books recently that I'm going to sit down and start reading today. So maybe that's a reason too. Dio Brando, thank you and welcome back. Did you see that Street Fighter is crossing over with Power Rangers in a fan-made movie and a mobile game? I saw the mobile game thing. I didn't realize that it was crossing over in a movie like that. That seems kind of cool. That's like childhood me's fantasy. Ken and Ryu versus Zack and Jason. That would be a cool-ass fight. Part of me loves that the Power Rangers has stuck around in a certain way that it has, because it is nice to be able to like pick up a Megazord or something fun for nostalgia reasons and look back in a positive way. In many ways, Power Rangers is like my Transformers or my G.I. Joe or my He-Man, stuff like that. I know it wasn't the best thing ever produced, but I loved it as a kid, and therefore it still makes me happy type of thing. So maybe I don't really care about Transformers like everyone else, but I don't really shit on Transformers either. I just go, it's cool. It just isn't for me. That's how Power Rangers is for a lot of people. I'm just glad if I do want to go back, like if I want to watch an episode of the show, it's on Netflix. If I want new shit, there's a comic book. If I'm interested, there's this fan fiction film or fan-made film in this video game and stuff like that. Like I actually picked up the Power Rangers game for PS4. It was terrible, but I bought it because it's Power Rangers and I wanted to, have some fun with the relive my childhood, if you will. But Dio Brando, I'm going to have to check out the fan-made movie. If you guys want to link me to that, or if you guys have any news or information or know anybody that's involved with it, let me know. I'm trying to do, like I said earlier in the show, I'm trying to do a 25th anniversary Power Ranger thing. Nothing huge, but, put out a feeler. If the channel grows, if we can get to a bigger number, if we get to 100,000 by the end of the year, we could definitely get like an actual actor from the Power Rangers to show up on the channel. I could, talk to them through Twitter or something like that and try to get them to appear via Skype. Maybe the Green Ranger. That'd be my ultimate get. That'd be crazy. So who knows? You got to dream big, though. And thank you, Darth Dirkle the Wise Ass, for your very nice compliment. I appreciate that. Twitter was around in 2007. I think that says 2009, but I don't know. I'm not really a big Twitter user. Jeremy Peerboom, did you see that Boom Studios tweet about straight writers writing gay characters? They recommend getting sensitivity They recommend getting sensitivity readers. Are we still on for tonight? Yes, we are on for tonight, Jeremy. You will be a part of the Force Awakens live watch, so I hope you can handle that. But yes, you are. You will be there for 100% sure. I will just message you the Twitter link because I told Jeremy and Ethan about that. So you will be our 4th for the evening. And if not, you'll be our 5th member of the evening. Who knows? But you will be there, and I hope you have a lot to say about that. And I hope you have a good time with us. I'm excited to hang out with you because every time you come on one of our streams, I want to say something to you, and then it gets, people chime in, and we just never get that rolling. So I hope you have a fun time tonight. But I didn't see the Boom Studios tweet about straight writers writing gay characters. It's like when Scarlett Johansson couldn't play the transgender character, or so-and-so can't play this. It's acting, it's writing. You're creating or making, these people have such narrow-minded views of entertainment or the world. It's like, if you're black, you have to like Black Panther. No. You can like any character you want to like. if you're gay, you have to play gay characters or write gay characters. Wasn't there an actor like Rupert Everett who played straight characters? I mean, it doesn't matter if you're gay or straight. If you're good at what you do, that's what matters. It matters if this writer is a good writer who can write a gay character. That's what's important. So you get Boom Studios, you can recommend all you want. You can recommend sensitivity readers. You can recommend that gay people write this script and that script, and that's fine. It all depends on who's the best at their job. And if John, the gay man, is not a very good writer, but you give him a big job because he's a gay man, well, you're only going to hurt yourself in the long run. John, the gay man who's the writer, should be better or as good as any of the other writers. And that's who determines who gets that job, not, what they do behind the scenes. Swinging Cod. I don't care what they do in the comics. I bought the Star Wars comics and books for years, most in hardback because they sold them as canon. Never again. Never again is right for Star Wars in comics, man. My first experience with Star Wars comics weren't that good. I picked up Star Wars Classics, and it was a reprint of the Marvel books. I got it in New York City, and it was weird because it didn't look like the movie, and it threw me off. But that was a weird side story about me. Sorry. Well, my point is, I don't care what they do in the comics either. It has to be on film for it to matter to me. If so-and-so died in this movie, but they're really coming back later, like Boba Fett never came back officially, right? He's not in Rebels, is he? Well, he couldn't be in Rebels because it takes place before A New Hope. So unless Boba Fett pops up, to me, he died in Return of the Jedi. If something happens in, Attack of the Clones, I don't care that it, in, what is that? Something of Evil, the Star Wars novel that was so well received with Palpatine on the cover. The book may be great, but if it doesn't happen in the movie, it doesn't matter. So, Swinging Cod, I think you have the right approach to a lot of that stuff. It's got to happen there. Get the guy who played the Green Ranger. He's a friendly guy, acted in a few fan films too. I'd love to get Jason David Frank on the channel. Honestly, if I tweeted him and then like all of you guys retweeted that or tweeted him to come on the show for a Skype interview, we could probably make it happen. I'll even show my picture of me dressed as the White Ranger on air if we can make that happen. And yes, I have that. The watch party is tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, guys, on the Geeks and Gamers channel. Thank you, Ghetto Bible. I appreciate that. Brandon Moist got a new cat this week. Went to name him Solo, but accidentally wrote Soilo on the name tag. Renamed him after Renamed him after Jon Snow after I was bested by the soy. That'd be terrible if I named someone Soilo and I had to stick with it. Thank you, Brandon Moist. You always can make me laugh, dude. Thank you. The grill will be fired up tonight, and Jeremy is the fish. Ouch! Jesus, that's harsh. That is harsh. Jason David Frank would do it. I hope he would. I'd just like to get him on. I won't have the Red Ranger and him on together, though, because they'll probably fight. You're waiting for me to tweet Kevin Smith. Okay. That would be a nice evolution. We get some celebrities on the channel. I wouldn't kiss his ass like some other people would, but I'd be professional. So it's 9:34, which means we're in the final segment of Good Morning Pop Culture. So, guys, it's time to ask Jeff anything. It's Friday, so make these fun and memorable because I'll be back next week. But I want to have some things to laugh about over the weekend. So, you know what to do. Send them in and make me laugh. Kevin Smith is gay. James Gunn will be the first domino to fall for the MCU. That would be kind of messed up if that honestly was how the MCU died. James Gunn's history is what killed the MCU. Is it true Midnight's Edge will be on the show? No, not next week. That is not true at all. Unless they're talking to somebody else. They have not contacted me about being on next week. High Council isn't here. I get the guests for my channel. So if Midnight's Edge wants to discuss stuff with me, it's going to be here on World Class Bullshitters. We haven't actually picked a date as of yet. And I'm looking through the emails right now, and I don't see anything yet. So I'll have to message him soon. And then you also asked, has Anti-Trekker mailed you? No. Anti-Trekker has not emailed me. I'm looking at the email right now. Nope, nothing from Anti-Trekker yet, guys. So don't worry. I'm not going to stop wanting to make Anti-Trekker happen and getting Midnight's Edge on the channel. Like, those things are still going to happen. Just haven't heard back yet, so don't worry. The Rivakiss 2790, Marvel must have known about Gunn before this. Maybe they have, or maybe it's like when you go get a real job and you lie on your application and you can get away with it for a while, but eventually someone will find out and then you're fired. So maybe that's the case with James Gunn right now. The media can't accuse me of shit. I like Blade. I do not like the Cincinnati Bengals. Would I do a tabletop Star Wars game show on the channel? I think it'd be fun to see good Star Wars stories for a change. You can't do worse than Disney. I don't know much about tabletop gaming. I'm not saying no, but I don't know. Like, I don't know how to play Magic the Gathering. Hell, I didn't even know how to play Pokemon cards. I have all the fucking cards from the original run. I just never knew how to play them. I collected them. I had to catch them all, as they would say. So I don't know if I'm... Basically, if someone were to teach me on the channel, that'd be a different case, but I don't know how to do it. I never got into the tabletops or the board games or stuff like that, so I can't actually tell you, like, oh yeah, I'd love to do it. I just don't know about it. So it might be pretty shitty and worse than Disney. I mean, if you want me to make up stories, I can. We could do like an improv hour of Star Wars stuff. That'd be fun. But I couldn't tell you about the tabletopping aspect of that. The ultimate world-class bullshitter celebrity interview would be The Rock, if he would be The Rock, but not Dwayne Johnson. And what I mean by that is I don't want him to come on and smile and shake my hand and tell me thanks for having him on and all this other shit. I want him to be The Rock. If he wears the sunglasses, hell, we can get him a wig to make him look just like he used to back in the day. That'd be the ultimate celebrity interview. If not that, maybe Ryan Johnson. No, Ryan Johnson wouldn't be that fun. He'd be a dick the whole time. I have to enjoy this. Pierce Brosnan would be cool. Michael Keaton would be cool. Eddie Murphy, if he was, not nervous, would be cool. Basically, if you ever listen to me talk about movies I love, the actors from those movies would be awesome celebrity interviews. Makini90, hey, welcome back. Happy Friday. I just came from Ethan's video. What's going on with Gunn? Well, Makini90, check out the tweets on your screen right now. James Gunn put out some really sketch tweets a couple years back and made some really weird comments / observations / maybe jokes about just read them yourself, Makini90. I don't really want to read these on air and get put on some list or some other bullshit, but it's messed up. Let's see. What do I think of Rogue One? I thought it sucked. It's fine. I liked it a lot when I first watched it, and I like it less now, but it's still the best Disney Star Wars flick out there. And I call myself a nerd. Sorry, I don't know the tabletop gaming. What's the weight limit for a girl to sit on your face? As long as there'll be no bruising or breaking. I don't know. I'm not giant. That's a better question for Dion. When's the last time you saw The Force Awakens and who's on the live stream? Last time I saw The Force Awakens is when we did our Patreon viewing of it, last year? I was blackout drunk. And who will be on it tomorrow or tonight will be our patron Jeremy Peerboom, as well as Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers and EVS. So that is your lineup for tonight. I'm African and I like Black Panther, but Iron Man is my favorite superhero of the MCU. See, you can think for yourself, therefore you don't have to be told that your favorite character is your favorite character. Boxers or briefs? The world is watching. Boxers. Who would win in a fight, the Rock or a large rock? Probably the boulder itself would beat the Rock. I mean, he is just a person after all. And if you dropped a rock on him, he would die. And he's not that fast, I'm guessing. So Indiana Jones could outrun the boulder. The Rock might get blown up real quick. The Clone Wars is back, my dude. I know you're excited, but the Clone Wars, it's not the Clone Wars that ever left. It was canceled by Disney, and this is the leftover content they're finishing off and putting out there on the streaming service for 12 episodes. So I do like your enthusiasm, and I don't want to kill anyone's enthusiasm, but just, understand what's actually happening with it. Am I still rusty with drawing? I need to do a little more, but I could probably pick it up real quick. You don't really lose it. I just need to do it again. American Trent, about your super chat. Let me pull up that thing again to make sure I didn't miss it, because I'd feel bad. Sorry, there we go. Trent, I did miss